right, everybody. Craig back at you. Out today on the 2023 BMW GS Adventure. So here's the situation. Let's say you are looking to purchase a new touring bike or a used touring bike or just a touring bike. And let's talk about maybe 5 reasons where maybe you should consider an adventure bike as opposed to that touring bike that you're going to get. Now let me start this by saying I'm referring to people that are, again, looking to get a touring bike because you plan on doing some touring. If you just want a touring bike and you're going to ride around town with it, that's fine too. There's no wrong bikes to get. But I'm really focusing this on people that are contemplating getting a touring bike because you want to do some long distance traveling, some multi-day traveling, and so you want to take advantage of that tour. And when we talk about touring bikes, I'm looking at, your Road Glide, your Street Glide, your Goldwing, your Indian, Challenger / Pursuit, those type of bikes. There are 5 reasons that I think, before you just jump into getting yourself a traditional touring bike, why you might want to consider an adventure bike that might be a better fit for you to do this long distance travel. First reason you might want to consider an adventure bike, and this is in no particular order, but first reason is comfort. Now you might think automatically that touring bikes would be more comfortable, and for the most part they are comfortable. I'm not saying they're bad at all, but what I think you would find is that the adventure bikes, the larger ones, again, I want to compare apples to apples, the larger adventure bike to the large touring bike. The seating position, the comfort is really good. You have a really good seating position as far as your hip to knee to ankle position on the bike. It's much more comfortable than what you might have imagined or you might think. I will say, I'm a whole owner of a Honda Goldwing. I wouldn't lie to you. The Goldwing is a little bit more comfortable as a touring bike, but not by much. Not by much. So again, when you're looking at options, it's not everything is going to be automatic. I've ridden on a Road Glide. I've ridden on a Street Glide, and to me, the adventure bike has a much more comfortable seating position than those 2 bikes have. So one reason you might want to consider an ADV bike over some of your traditional tours is comfort. Okay, second reason why you might want to consider an ADV bike over your traditional tour is storage. Now, I'll put a little asterisk next to this because most ADV bikes don't come with storage built in. You have to buy the panniers or the soft cases in the top box, so many of them don't come standard with it. But I will say most people that buy adventure bikes will be adding some type of storage. They'll be adding some type of panniers or whatever. So with the storage on the adventure bikes, you have much more storage, again, for traveling, for road trips with your panniers and your top box than you're going to have on your traditional touring bike or bagger. You can just take more things. You can take more clothes, and you have the options, especially if you have the hard cases, like I do here. You can store things on top of your pannier boxes, on top of your top boxes. So, for those of you that like watching a lot of moto camping trips, you'll see that a lot of moto campers use adventure type touring bikes for various reasons, but one of them is storage. You can just take so many more things with you and have room to bring things back if you want. Third reason you want to consider an adventure bike over a touring bike is price. Now, these days, none of these bikes are cheap. I wouldn't, try to get you to believe that, because they're not. They're all expensive. But ADVs still are a little cheaper than your touring bike. I mean, if you're going with a Harley you could be anywhere in the high 20s to almost 60 with some of the CVO models that they have. So it's a lot of money. Again, I'm going to say the full-size adventure bikes, you know, you might be low to mid 20s depending on which one you get. Again, my caveat of my thing earlier about the bags, even when you add on buying some panniers to it, you're still going to come in a little bit less than you would, or maybe significantly less than what you would on a comparable touring bike. All right, well, I'm waiting at this light. Let's go over reason number 4, gas mileage. You're traditionally going to get a little bit better gas mileage on your ADV bike than you are on your big tour. The ADV bikes are a little bit lighter, which is, I guess, we got a subcategory to number 4, that it's lighter, easier to move around, easier to manage. But they're a little bit lighter, and they do a little bit better on gas. You know, on an adventure bike, you're probably going to be pushing high 40s, around 50 miles per gallon. Some of the big touring bikes that are around 900 pounds or more are not going to do as well. So again, caveat being, you are actually going to go on trips with these bikes. You know, gas mileage might be something that, you know, that's important to you. And let's talk about the 5th reason, the last reason. Versatility. It's an adventure bike. You can go off-road, you can do back road stuff, trails and stuff like that. For those that know me, I'm not doing none of that stuff. I have no desire to go off-road. I have no desire to do trails. So that really didn't come into play for me. But again, the versatility of being able to do that is something that you might want to take a look at this bike as opposed to a tour. I will say this, even though I'm not a back road guy, I have been on some trips where my GPS has taken me on some long stretches of, I'll say, roads that are being reconstructed. You know, they're not. What are we doing here, young lady? Get out of here. Roads that are being reconstructed. So it might be a lot of gravel. Again, I'm not going down a back road, but I'm going down roads that I feel more comfortable on an adventure bike navigating than I would feel on a big touring bike. And I could say almost every road trip that I've done, I've come across some roads. Again, like this sign I'm getting ready to pass, road work ahead, expect delays. I don't know how the road's going to be, but I have come across that on some of my longer trips where, yeah, it's just, you could do it with the touring bike. It's no problem, but you know, you better be a little bit more careful. Whereas I think the confidence level of the adventure bike lets you handle those terrains a little bit easier. So that's reason number 5. And lastly, I'll give you a bonus. Throw one in. Adventure bikes are just downright fun. They're more fun. And I like my touring motorcycle. I do. I'm never going to get rid of my Gold Wing. But when it just comes to getting on a bike and just having some fun riding around, adventure bikes are nice. So you got the fun factor of to throw in the mix when you're going on a long distance trip. So anyway, those are my 5 reasons for why you might want to consider an adventure bike as opposed to a big touring bike if you plan on touring. Put in the comments if you want what you have. Have you ever considered an adventure bike? Do you see one in the future? I do think, maybe I'll make this a separate video. It seems like the adventure bike thing, I don't want to call it a fad. I don't want to call it a fad because I don't know, you know, if people are just going to stop buying them somewhere down the road. But I will say it seems like there is a big uptick in people buying adventure bikes. Old guys trying to relive their youth and buying these adventure bikes. Maybe that'll go down some and you won't see the market as saturated as it's been. But anyway, thanks for watching. Again, I'm interested in your opinion if you want to throw it in there. I hope everybody has a wonderful and blessed day, and we'll be talking to you soon, everybody.